Alright class, so if you're in my Algebra 2 class and you're getting ready to take your final, if I were you, what I would do is I would pause before the problem is demonstrated so that you can try it on your own first, and then I'd press play and see if you got the questions right. If you didn't, I would study the ones that you did not, because these are basically straight off your final. Alright, so here we have an exponential function that's been graphed. I gave you the graph, and I just asked you to give me some of the characteristics. Okay, so we'll start off with what you should notice right off the bat. Okay, you should notice this horizontal line right here that graph does not go below. It's at 3. That's called your horizontal asymptote. Okay, the reason I started there is because that's going to help you figure out your range. Okay, that means that your y values do not go below that asymptote. That means that your range is 3 to infinity. Okay? In case it's written differently, you might want to be able to write y is greater than 3. Okay? Either one of those two ways. Your domain would be all real numbers, because its domain means x. It's going this way forever in terms of x, and it goes that way forever in terms of x. Alright, you should notice for the y-intercept, this is very basic, it is at 4. Alright, 0, 4, or 4, either way. And you should absolutely be able to tell me that you do not have an x-intercept on this problem because it doesn't touch the x-axis. Alright, so I didn't write all that out, but if you need to hear it again, go back. Alright, another problem straight off of your exam and off of your final. It's an exponential function. I gave you that clue, gave you the initial amount, and the fact that it's increasing at 9% every single year. Okay, so an increase has got to be above 1. That would eliminate this answer, this answer, this answer, and this answer. All of those are below 1. They can't be increases. Okay, increases means you're adding to 100%. So if you add 9 to 100%, that would be 109. Not 1.9, but 1.09. This is a 9%. This would have been a 90% on answer choice D. Alright, same kind of question here for exponential. A painting worth $1.2 million is projected to gain value of 12% every 10 years. I want you to see the difference. This said each year, or every year. This says every 10 years. So that 10 years is an important part of your exponent. When you write this equation, that's 1.2, it's increasing by 12%. That's 100 plus 12. Okay, that's an increase in your percentage by 12. So that's 112. 1.12 is your base. And because it's every 10 years, your exponent is not x. It's x divided by 10. Okay, because it's every 10 years. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay. Now part 2, I'm not even going to show on here. All you would need to do is change that x to a 15 in your calculator and let it do the work for you. Alright, now this is straight off of the thing. This is 2 examples of normal curves. Alright, that is the shape of a normal curve. And what you should remember is that your mean, your average, is in the middle. So you should see that they both have the same average. The only difference in these two is that one of them is taller, and that's because it is skinnier. Okay? The other one is shorter because it is fatter. Okay, so that red one, which represents population 2, is a wider distribution, which means its standard deviation is larger. Alright, so if you read these, the thing that's actually true is that population 1 has a smaller standard deviation. Okay, this statement here, because it is skinnier, it has a smaller standard deviation, but they have the same exact mean. Alright, normal curves, again, your mean is in the middle. Alright, and in this case your standard deviation is 2, because you're counting up by 2's or down by 2's. And you should just remember this, 68% are between these two marks here. Okay, one in each direction. So that's a 38 and a 42. 95% would be between 36 and 44. And that last statement would be 99.7%. Okay, 99.7% would fall between the 34 and the 46. Alright, so this is 99.7 from here. Again, this is 95 between 36 and 44. And this is 68 between 38 and 42. Alright, one of the easiest things on here, if you can remember how to do this, z-scores talk about how far away from the average you are. Your average or mean is 210 with a standard deviation of 25. So this should actually be 100% obvious. The largest z-score is a 2, and the largest value is 260. So clearly these go together. 230 is also larger than the average, so this other value that's positive would go with it. The two negative z-scores, alright, are going to go with values that are below your mean. So 160 being the lowest has the smallest z-score. 175 does not. If you want to see how to do a z-score again, I'll show you. To find the z-score for 175 would be 175, you subtract the mean, and then you take that answer and you divide by your standard deviation. And that's why, let's see, that's negative 35 divided by 25, which is negative 1.4. Alright, so that's it. I hope this helps. Study again, study again, study again. Study. Some of you have got to pass this class. Alright? So, rewatch the videos, make some problems up, get on the computer, Google, do whatever you gotta do. Go to my website, mathwithrogers.weebly.com. Alright? Do something to study for this test. I'm going to end with that.